You're listening to the Dre Area Sports Show, live on YouTube and X. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.
Let's move on to our final topic, which is expectations. Now, look, we're early on. We're only in OTAs, right? We still got a long way to go. But there was a clip that came out today over on Get Up, courtesy of ESPN. I want to take a look at this. Mike Greenberg had this, was interviewing some guys and talking about the Niners' chances of making the playoffs, okay? So let's take a look at this, and then we'll comment on it.
Mike Greenberg, the Jets fan.
I saw yesterday. One that really jumped out at me was this. Our FPI has the 49ers with an over 62% chance to make the playoffs. You're saying, what does that mean? It means they have the third best chance of any team in the NFC behind only the Eagles and the Lions. It's telling us they are the best team in the NFC West. Lewis, are you buying?
Okay, hold on. He just said behind the Eagles and the Lions. They are the best team in the NFC West.
I don't like Mike Greenberg.
No, I'm not. Look, this situation here worries me because, one, let's just start on the offensive side of the football, and let's talk about this offensive line, which, along with the defensive line, has been a hallmark of this organization. It's really set the tone in terms of the way that they like to play. What will that unit look like, okay? Number two, what will Christian McCaffrey's availability look like in terms of his durability? Is it ever going to be where they really need it to be?
Isn't that what I said earlier?
16, 17
yeah, but he makes a good point.
And on the defensive side, Greeny, they're trying to revamp everything up front with the drafting of all the youth that they did this year to kind of give Robert Saleh, their new defensive coordinator, their old defensive coordinator, now new defensive coordinator, some guys to really work with once again.
I remember Louis Riddick was in the running to be their GM, and
he's just butthurt.
He's been so bitter ever since.
Again,
he never got a job from anybody.
Nope. In the West, the NFC's stacked. I just don't know how they're not going to win the division. How do they get in as a wild card?
Oh, they're going to win
the strength that exists in the North and in the East overall with all the improvements those teams have made.
I agree with you. I'm surprised by that projection. We'll
Go
see.
root for the Jets, Greenberg.
Okay, so you heard what they had to say. Louis Riddick, Mike Greenberg, and whoever else was standing over there. So look, he's bringing up the obvious points. You got a lot of young players on defense, a lot of young players on that defensive line. How are they going to mature? How are they going to play in the Robert Saleh system? There's still a lot of question marks there. There's question marks surrounding Christian McCaffrey's availability, his health. Will he be able to stay healthy the entire season? Well, when you go back 2 years ago, he was healthy almost the entire season. In fact, I would almost argue that if he just played last season, he probably would have been healthy all year. They were like, you got micro tears, and then all of a sudden it was just like, okay, I'm back. Like, wait, what?
They kind of fungled that up a little bit.
Well, it was like, did they just go away, or did they decide, well, they're not so bad as we thought they were? So
he went to Germany.
Yeah.
And got it fixed.
Yeah, he went to Germany.
Yeah.
So my question is with the Niners having that high, the third highest playoff percentage to make the playoffs, do you think San Francisco, when we talk about expectations, do you expect San Francisco to either win the division or make the playoffs?
I think they win the division. I do. I don't think they're going to be a dominant team by any stretch, and I think they're gonna be in the 11-6 range. I predicted that last week, 11 or 12 wins. It's because of for me, it's a couple things. It's because of the schedule. The schedule is definitely, and I think that's why you see the 62% percentage, because of the schedule and how they have one of the easiest schedules in football this year. They have some guys coming back. Brandon Aiyuk's not going to be back right away, but they have McCaffrey coming back. He's going to be, we all believe, you and I both believe he's going to be healthy and ready to go. And then there's the other intangible for me that we talked about a little bit, but it's the confidence level of Brock Purdy. It's the confidence level that he will gain from this contract, from not being that kind of, limbo contract quarterback. He now is the guy that the organization is committing to. And yeah, they're going to have some challenges. Their offensive line, I think, is going to be really important. That I think losing Aaron Banks could hurt a little bit, but I mean, I'm really looking forward to a year 2 of Dominic Pooney. I'm looking forward to seeing Brock Purdy have McCaffrey back and being able to feed off of him and have him out of the backfield. And I do think that they've made improvements on defense. And this is, we're not going to have enough time today, but they may have some sneaky draft picks in the secondary also that we can talk about that are going to make this team, I think, a little bit better on defense than we saw at the end of last year. Fred Warner coming back, of course, and Mykel Williams and Nick Bosa being able to get pressure on the quarterback. Hopefully, we don't know for sure what that's going to look like, but this team is going to be a lot better. And I don't see anybody in this division. I don't see the Rams being competitive. I don't see Seattle being a team that's going to dominate the division like they probably think. Arizona is Arizona. So I think this team, if I had to pinpoint it, I would say they win 11 games and they probably win the division by a game or two.
So when you look at, let's compare Brock Purdy to another quarterback last season, their last season numbers to kind of give you a look at kind of a comparison look. Going head to head with CJ Stroud. Okay. CJ Stroud,
the golden
10-7.
child.
10-7. Brock Purdy was 6-9. Remember, he missed a couple of games.
Oh, that's why you said 6-9. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I know, I got you.
6-9, right?
Yeah.
But when you look at the completion percentage, Brock wins that one. Passing yards, Brock wins. Passing yards per attempt, Brock wins. Brock wins.
Yeah. It's
Touchdowns.
all Brock.
Touchdowns tied at 20. Interceptions tied at 12. Now, passer rating 96.1, 87.0. Okay, you're talking about a 1 year difference in these guys, but CJ Stroud had a stellar defense player wise, and he had a ton of assets on offense. Nico Collins at one point, Tank Dell and Diggs. I know Diggs got hurt. They also got the running back. I forgot his name. The one who used to play for the Bengals. He punched that girl in the face.
Yeah, Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon.
Yeah, he was good last year.
He was good. He was really good. Now, he had a lot of stellar players, but yet Brock Purdy gets criticized because, well, he's Mr. Irrelevant, and C.J. Stroud was number 2 pick in the draft. But it goes to show you just how good Brock Purdy really was. And so because of that, my expectation for this team is that they are going to win the division. They're going to make the playoffs. And I personally think that San Francisco will end the season at 13-4.
Wow.
I do. Because I think they have a lot to prove, and these guys are out for blood this year. They're like, you know what? We're not fucking around.
And
the only area that they don't have a lot of say in is the receiving core. You don't have Brandon Aiyuk. You no longer have Deebo Samuel. So you got to make it up with these guys. You got to hope that JJ and Pearsall really step up and they don't get hurt early on. You have three division games in the first 5 weeks. Seattle, Arizona, and the Rams. Mm-hmm. You got to win those games early on. If you lose, 2 of those 3 games, that's not good.
Yeah,
you got to capitalize on those early.
And that was why we ended up losing the division last year. It was because we lost the divisional games. We lost a game against the Rams that we should have won in LA. We lost a game against Arizona at home that we should have won. And we lost a game, I thought, against Seattle at home that we should have won, that Geno Smith had a touchdown run in the final.
Oh, that Devondre Campbell couldn't pivot and get to him and change direction. Yeah.
There's that one, and then the last one is the Rams game at home to end the season. So that's four games right there that we should have won.
Or how about the Rams game in week 3 when we were winning 21-7? Week 2 against the Vikings, we could have won that game too.
And that game, and Andre, that game in week 2 or 3 against the Rams. Week 3, we would have won that game if Jake Moody made a field goal. We were up 7, and all we had to do was it was like a 45-yard field goal to go up 10. And we
would have won that game if what's his face would have caught the ball. The receiver out of Michigan, number 10. I forgot his name now.
Ronnie Bell.
Ronnie Bell. If Bell makes that catch on the right sideline instead of just knocking it down like he was a corner, we would have won that game. But then again, we would have relied on Jake Moody to kick a smaller kick, and who knows if he would have made that kick or not. But things like that derailed the season. And those are the things I see them not doing this season because the guys they brought in and the talent that they're surrounding Brock Purdy with. So speaking of talent, I did want to bring this up. I know we're up against the top of the hour here, but I did want to bring this up. This came courtesy of the great John Chapman. I'm going to try to get him on the show with us one of these weeks. The Niners lowered Fred Warner's cap hit by almost $17 million for 2025.
Nice.
The 49ers now have $52 million in cap space this season, which is second in the NFL. Currently, the 49ers have 18% of their salary cap unused and will roll it forward to future cap space. Now, this is incredible news for San Francisco having this much cap space. They do have room to add a few players, which I think they may still do. I would love to see them add more depth at defense at the defensive end position, and of course, add a little more depth at receiver because we talked about that earlier. But when you talk about this guy and Fred Warner, I mean, this is the number one number one linebacker in the NFL.
Now you're starting to sound like Mike Greenberg, not knowing who anybody is.
I know.
Dude, like this is what I always tell people that come to me and they bitch and moan and complain about the Niners. I'm like, dude, you could be the Cleveland Browns.
Exactly.
Like we have a great front office. John Lynch. We used to have Adam Peters. He's moved on to Washington, but we have Parag Marathi, who takes care of all the salary cap. This is totally a Marathi deal right here, where they bring what they do is they bring the players in, and you could talk to Larry Krueger about this. He's talked about this. They bring the players in and they have an adult conversation about how they can restructure these contracts to make them team friendly so that the team can continue winning and being competitive. Even though we didn't win last year, we were still competitive. There are teams that are not competitive on a yearly basis. So, and I know they haven't won a Super Bowl since 1994. I know that we've had our issues with getting past Kansas City. That Kansas City's not going to be an issue anymore. I'm not worried about them. But man, our organization, they are first class all the way. And what they've done is, I think, short of a miracle with Brock Purdy and Fred Warner and still having cap space.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The Dre Area Sports Show is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use promo code Dre Area Sports to save $20 on your first purchase at SeatGeek.com. And we are also brought to you by Taryn Roy, the SEO Optimizer. If you're looking to boost your YouTube channel, then check out the SEO Optimizer. Use promo code Dre Area Sports to start your free trial today. Power Brand Systems. If you're looking to build a website for your small business or YouTube channel, then check out Power Brand Systems. Use promo code 300POWER to save up to $300 on your first purchase at Power Brand Systems.